What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined by my dad Sean, and today reactions to the classics. It is time for another Tom Waits review. This time his 11th record, Bone Machine, his first record in the 90s, Dad.
Yes.
And let me tell you, I'm going to be excited to talk about this one. This record definitely blew me away. I'm excited to dive into the themes and backstory of it. And I want to shout out our Tom Waits superfan and patron who's been taking us through this journey here and suggesting this, Josh. As always, Josh, we appreciate you, the first guy to really turn our attention to Mr. Waits. So excited to dive into this one.
Yeah, you already mentioned the 11th studio album, September of 1992. Been 5 years, Trey, since Frank's Wild Years, which of course we have a review of. Check it out after this. Only went to 176 in the U.S., but for Tom, that's actually pretty good because most of his stuff didn't chart at all. Won a Grammy for Best Alternative Music Album. Has other people on here, including Keith Richards, which is going to be on the final track of the first album, where Tom played percussion and drums like extensively. And he said later on how much he loved to play the drums, and he has a conundrum in his house, which is a metal instrument, and he liked to just go and bang away on a hammer. He said it was very therapeutic. All the songs, as always, are written by Tom, but he also, Kathleen Brennan pops in and helps him on 5 or 6, and then the very last song is written by Tom and Keith Richards. We'll get to that way down the line. And the title is a reference to Waits' concept of bone music, where the music is stripped to the bare minimum. On that note, it's often noted for its rough, stripped-down, percussion-heavy style, as well as its dark, lyrical themes, which we'll touch on, I know, revolving around death and chaos. It's got a very interesting cover. It's Tom. It's a close-up blurry. He's wearing like a skull cap with horns, goggles, taken by Jesse Dillon, son of Bob. They record this in California, but they record it in Studio C of the Prairie Sun Recording Studios, known as the Waits Room. It's located in the old cement hatchery rooms of the cellar of the building. Prairie Sun studio head Mark Rennick said, Waits gravitated towards these echo rooms and created the Bone Machine landscape. What we like about Tom is that he's a musicologist and he has a tremendous ear. He is a national treasure. All that Tom said about it, said, hey man, I found a room, all it was a cement floor and a hot water heater in the corner. I was good, man. I wanted to get after it.
Hey, bare bones, true kind of to the name.
Yeah,
man.
I was going to say it also helped the name as well. So let's jump into this, Trey. We got 16 tracks.
Yeah, and we're going to start it with Earth Died Screaming to just cue you into maybe some of the intensity that this record is going to have. I enjoy the line that comes in this track, hell doesn't want you and heaven is full, which gets touched on a couple different times throughout this record. Here, reminded me a bit of Clap Hands from Rain Dogs with that percussion that you were just mentioning, Dad, that is going to just be so heavily influence on this record here. And you even though have a gorgeous Chamberlain section in the last 20 seconds as well. So I love my album openers to kind of set the tone for what the style and themes are going to be for the record, and I think Earth Died Screaming does that quite well for Bone Machine.
Oh, I agree 100%. I don't have much to add on that. Now, Tom did have a quote on this, which is rare that we get these quotes from Tom. He said, I think the world is going to be here a lot longer after we're gone. I'm just waiting for the whole world to open up and swallow us all in, scrape us all off its back. I think the world is a living organism. When you stick a shovel in the ground, have you ever heard the earth go, And we're living on the decomposed remains of our ancestors, both animal, mineral, and vegetable. So it's a living thing. I don't think it's going to die screaming. I think we're going to die screaming in the swamp of time. Tom is so well spoken. Very Waitsy on the vocals, I wrote, which just means we've got into that real gravelly, rough delivery, but sets the tone so nicely and sets the tone going into the next song, Dirt in the Ground. Kathleen wrote this with him some, and it's just what it sounds like. We're all, no matter what we do,
where you come from, who you are,
or what you accomplish, we're all going to end up at the end of the day dirt in the ground. So it ties nicely to the first track.
And I'll mention here just how great I think the track listing is on this, because you go from that rough and gruff Earth Died Screaming to this tune where you get a sweeter,
very clear vocals. I wrote that, more chilled.
Yeah, a very mellow atmosphere throughout here, and yet still has those allusions to the biblical imagery. You get Cain and Abel mentioned in here. You have that obviously death that just surrounds the lyricism, and you even have saxophones going wild as well. So that's such a stark contrast that I thought worked well and still got its point across.
I agree. Now we're going to go to Such a Scream. Much more abstract songwriting here. This is some other type of Tom songwriting where it's so abstract, yet he writes at such a high level, even though you don't know sometimes what he's talking about. What I found interesting on this song, as we're talking about the dichotomy already between the first two songs, a lot of electric guitar on here.
Yeah.
And you don't hear that a lot on Tom's song.
I even wrote that down, just that rowdy guitar lead mixed well with Waits' voice, and the person he's describing here as a gal I don't think I could handle, man.
No, me neither, man. And that's going to take us into a song that I think ties very well with the second song with Dirt in the Ground, and we got All Stripped Down. Same concept, Trey. No matter what material possessions you have, at the end of the day, you come in this earth with nothing, you're going to leave this earth with nothing. And it fades in from the previous song. It's hard to understand. I think there's a weird call and response with himself, vocal treatment on the response, but I found it all quite interesting.
A true masterclass in vocal manipulation here, and I think you're going to have a feeling about this song one way or another. It's not just going to be like one you just kind of forget about. So I personally enjoyed the creativity and the uniqueness of it, and just that refrain in there was still a bit oddly catchy in its own way.
It was. Now we go to Who Are You, another Waits and Brennan collaboration on the songwriting. It's really a fire indictment of the person in the song and their fakeness and all their bad deeds in the relationship. A chilled performance, subtle instrumentation.
Enjoyed the line, "Who were you this time? You look rather tired. Are you pretending to love? Well, I hear that pays well." We have that scathing attack towards this woman, and yet the arrangement is pretty. So you have that dissonance there between the music and then the actual lyricism to what Tom is saying, which I always just find very impressive in his work. And this is one of my favorite tunes on this record, actually. So we just are 5 tracks in, and such a strong start.
Yeah, now we're going to go to The Ocean Doesn't Want Me. It's only a minute 51, but man, chilled instrumentation. This in the song, man, Tom is trying to go drown himself in the ocean, but the ocean doesn't. He can't even get that to accept him. It's a powerful song, man.
Dude, it is, and yet again, I think only Tom could have wrote this type of track.
I agree.
It really gets to that heart of, man, does death not even want me at this point?
Ominous instrumentation too. It sets it. You feel like you're about to go in.
Yeah, you feel that bareness, and it's yet again very, very powerful, and just comes to another angle in that that death type of a theme that we've been going up to this point.
Now we go to the 7th track, Jesus Gonna Be Here. It's featured in the 2005 film Domino, in which Waits also appears. It's either talking about Jesus, Trey, or maybe a corrupt preacher. I like it though. He's singing it like an old gospel singer.
Dude, I was thinking a little old gospel, old blues, maybe
bluesy,
some Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah, so like another diverse tune, 7 tunes in. What do you think he was talking about? Is it really talking about? Is he talking about a corrupt preacher?
Well,
Jesus?
There are those moments, where you get kind of that consumerism dropped in,
right?
Where we can all conjure up those pastors we see on TV
from that TV on
or whatnot. So I think in that case too, Jesus is going to be coming for them as well as just for the general populace as well.
Of course.
Yet again, just that raw feeling to this album was felt right here, man. Love the vocal delivery that Tom was employing here, and I guess we're going up already to track 8.
Track 8, and Trey, earlier The Ocean didn't want him, but now we're going to talk about A Little Rain, also written with Kathleen. Short on lyrics for Dark for sure, Trey. Mainly piano, nice vocal. Sounds almost like a steel guitar on there. At the very end of the song, the 15-year-old girl gets in this van and basically disappears, man. It's dark, but it's very well done.
No, man, this is a gut punch.
It is.
And he notes their last words were, "Oh, I love you, Mom." That one hits different, man. And like you mentioned, Dad, that pedal steel guitar and melody just yet again blends very well with Tom's vocal delivery here, which of course has that serious tone throughout for what the subject matter is.
Yeah, now we're going to go to In the Colosseum, Waits and Brennan again on the writing. More industrial almost in this, Trey. The percussion dominates, which makes sense since Tom was playing it so much at this time. Referencing ancient Rome, but I don't know if it's talking about America at the time. Is it talking about the entertainment world? Is it talking about both things, just a more broad spectrum of we're kind of in this for ourselves and looking for all these false idols. I don't know.
No, I think the lyrics that kind of point to that, no justice here, no liberty, no reason, no blame. There's no cause to taint the sweetest taste of blood. It's also the longest track on here, and it makes the best use of that time with that brutal imagery that's coming throughout here. And, you know, Tom's never one to hold back what he feels, but he's able to, you know, paint it and portray it in a way that is very, you know, poetic and a bit high level. And I think this track is a good showcase of that.
Yeah, I agree. Now we're going out west. Another one he wrote with Kathleen. Actually appears in the 1999 film classic Fight Club. He's going out, Trey, to Hollywood to make it big.
We have such a cool introduction with a fuzzy light guitar lead, and yet again throughout a lot of these tracks, Waits' percussion is just
I put on their driving drum, and that guitar you mentioned was very Tarantino-like for me. I know it was in Fight Club, but I'm like, man, we're about to go on a Tarantino movie.
Well, and yet again showing that diversity and different sounds on this record, and it was up to this point where the thought started going through my mind, like, oh, this might end up being my favorite Waits record. We'll see if that ends up happening at the end.
Spoiler alert, huh?
But then we go up now to Murder in the Red Barn, which is a bit interesting, Dad, because leave it to Waits to get inspiration from all different types of avenues. This apparently is based on a true story that happened back in the 1800s, where well, what happened in the title? There was a murder in the Red Barn.
Yeah, it was in Suffolk, England in 1827, where a guy asked this woman to meet him in the Red Barn. They'd run away together, but instead he shot and killed her, and he went on the run. He was later arrested and hanged for her murder. The woman's sister claimed she had a dream in which the woman's ghost came to her and showed her where the body was buried. The barn became a popular tourist site, and people wanting to take memorabilia stripped it bare. Clear vocals, percussion driven, the absolute right atmosphere for this song. Kathleen helped Tom on this song as well. But yeah, it is definitely a Tom Waits song, and I mean that in the best kind of way.
No, man, just his storytelling ability is on full display here. You get a bit of a country-esque vibe with the banjo being included. So yet again, so many different...
You're talking about a red barn, so it should be, right?
So I dug it, man. And next up, we're going to Black Wings. We have another strong guitar lead by Joe Gore, who pops up a few different times on this record. Almost resembled a bit of a throwback Western tune. An enigmatic character in Waits' canon, quote, some say they fear him, others admire him because he steals his promise. Everyone denies ever having met him. Yet again, that enigmatic songwriting that Waits is so well done on this tune right here.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought it had a menacing tone to it. Evil type character.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of where I go with on this one. Now we go to Whistle Down the Wind. Vocals are rough on this emotional delivery. It's a simple tune about a guy who never left his hometown.
No, man. That's the story that you see brought out in media all the time, man. But here with that gruffness in Tom's voice, you can I think that works so well with the violin even pops up. But with Tom's vocals on this, you feel that, okay, this man has kind of gone through the ringer through the decades. He didn't get out there. And I love the line, I can't stay here and I'm scared to leave, so kiss me once and then I'll go to hell. Gets to the heart of that melancholy of wanting to go out and do something, but knowing deep down that you won't be able to.
Exactly. Now we're going to go to one of my favorite songs on here, also written with Kathleen. Trey, when you were young, these don't exist anymore, but I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. That's not what this song is, but I don't want to grow up. Fantastic. Been used in movies, used in the ending credits of Shazam just a couple of years ago. But it's a song written about all the reasons why he doesn't want to grow up, and he's right about all of those reasons, man.
Yeah.
You know, life was simpler, although some of us didn't have the best childhood. Of course, you did, but some of us didn't. But still, life was much simpler.
No, and I found it, yet again, I'm going to harp on how good the track listing was. It comes off great off of the last tune where we're talking about not being able to go out of our hometown type of thing, and then, well, then I don't want to grow up and kind of face life. So I think that was just well placed. I don't know if Tom himself, you know, knowing how much of a creative force he is.
Yeah, I bet he did.
He was probably the one that did that, but yeah, great tune.
Now we go to Let Me Get Up On It. 55-second, only lyric, come on, let me get up on it. For me, it was okay. I mean, I don't have anything to really say on it. It's fine.
No, man, kind of reflects a bit of that unsettling nature of a dude trying to get free, get those distorted vocals, and then we tee up the closer on this.
Yeah, we do. We go to That Feel with Tom, Keith Richards. Keith's obviously on the guitars and backing vocals. They share songwriting credit. The moral of the song is they can take everything from you, but you know what they can't take from you, Trey?
That feel.
That feel, man.
Yeah, man, I think that this is an apt closer here.
It is.
In bringing on the great Keith Richards here. He's a strong compliment to, I think, the subject matter as well.
I do too.
You get a guy, talking about he's going to cross his wooden leg, has his fake glass eye, but no matter how much they can strip you down, so to speak, you can decide, are they going to take that heart from me, that feel, whatever that feel is for you in this wild life that we all live. I think that it just works as a closer. We've been talking about death and darkness and tragedy throughout this whole record, and yet at the end, are you going to still stand there and kind of soldier on with that feel? So a great question to ponder, and a wonderful artistic expression there with Mr. Richards, and that'll take us to our favorite tracks.
Yeah, good segue too, because I'm going to have I Don't Want to Grow Up, I'm going to have That Feel, I'm going to have Dirt in the Ground, and Who Are You?
I got Earth Died Screaming, Whistle Down the Wind, That Feel, I Don't Want to Grow Up, Who Are You, and Dirt in the Ground. So yet again, we had a lot of similarities there, Dad, and now that'll take us to our overall score.
Well, I'll go first after what you teased earlier. I think this is an outstanding album, which is rewarded with repeated listens for sure. My favorite album of his in a while. I'm going to be at an 8.0.
Yeah, man, this record it hit so well for me from the instrumentation that came in so heavy with the percussion, to the great track listing, to the subject matter, to the just creative force of doing the manipulated vocals, the wonderful stories that were told in here, great imagery. So for me, man, I'm going to be at like a strong 9.25.
Woo!
Maybe even a 9.5 as it grows on me. This is going to be my favorite Waits record as it stands now. I didn't think Rain Dogs was going to be top, and I've listened to Rain Dogs a lot more than this record, but I just, it has that air and that theme and just that artistic expression that really resonated with me, and I thought was done in a very intelligent way, as you'd expect from Waits right here, man. So an unbelievable record, and I'm curious y'all's thoughts, y'all's Waits super fan. Down below, let us know what you think of Bone Machine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm very curious about that.
And also, too, it's one of those where the record cover kind of sounds like what the music does, the unsettling, kind of quirky and weird.
And the name, the title, it all works together, guys. Shout out to Josh again. Thank you for taking us through this Waits journey. We've come a long ways on this thing. If you'd like to support us in any way like Josh does as a patron, check out the link below, or the link that's going to hit on the end screen in a minute.
All right, man. Well, as always, Dad, appreciate the research, appreciate y'all watching, and until next time, we will see you.